I'll tell you which way I believe the board needs to treat them. You will either have a quorum. If you have a quorum, you'll conduct the elections. If you don't have a quorum, won't conduct the elections. Okay, if you don't have a quorum, you won't even have a meeting. Apparently the people don't want to hear what I have to say. They don't want to know what's going on in writing. So I'll just go through it and I'll give you my direction. Okay, good enough? Fine. It's not what I wanted, folks. I'd rather be upfront with everybody. It's the way I prefer to act. Okay.
My understanding, you are here to defend that board.
Well, you're wrong. I will answer that. I represent the association. I represent the corporate entity. I don't represent any person up here. I don't represent management. In a sense, what I do is represent you all globally, but I represent a corporation known as the association. I am going to go do this properly as best I can from the information that I've been received and according to the Florida statutes and governing documents. So, at this point, when you go through these, I will tell you in general what I'm doing, if you want, and as long as people will literally just do things in order, I will even give you one more chance to try to do it. But what I'm not going to do is argue back and forth. That's a waste. I'm not going to do that. So let me go through this.
Let's let me go through it.
Just everybody
relax.
just be quiet.
All right, on this one, okay, let's see this. December 30th, time, date, place, date. I'm going to allow on these the address, okay? We can argue about it, but I think they're good enough, okay? From whom to whom given, dated, signed. Okay, this one is just, this one can be counted towards the quorum, in my opinion, okay? This one is November 12th, therefore it's for the wrong date. I don't think you should count this from the information given to me. This one shouldn't. Well, this one has two multiple faults. It doesn't say the voter of the address or who, just says for the place. But the main thing is that it's for the wrong meeting day. So this one shouldn't count towards a quorum or for purposes of electing directors. This looks like a copy, but let's say if it is accurate, this one is correct date. I don't know if this is an actual original, so that has another potential challenge. But if we're trying to give effect to as many of these as possible so we don't undermine the intent of what I think people are trying to do, this is for December 30th. That's it. This one can be for quorum. I don't think this is. I don't know what this is. I think this is something else. This isn't part of the process.
No, it's not. That's the signature of their mortgage to prove that the signature on the proxy is valid and it's their signature.
Well, they're checking off the names of the people that have the right to vote. So that's predicated on who's listed on the official records of the association.
Yeah. Would have been nice if we had that list prior to as well instead of scheduling.
Okay, guys, please, I'm getting ready to just shut everything down. I don't think you want that. Let me try to do my job so you guys get answers. It'd really be in your best interest. Okay, this one is for November. So this one, I can't suggest that you count it for a meeting, or quorum, or for election. This one is November, so it's the same thing. Okay. This one is for December. On the ones, you're just checking them off, make sure they're from the right people. I'm just looking at the form of the proxy, whether it has the requisite information on it. Okay. This one can be counted for quorum, but not for election of directors. This is for November, so this one should not be counted for quorum or election of directors. The other ones, just make sure that they point out the purpose of the quorum. Okay, does that make sense? And when I'm done with this, I'll explain to everybody a little bit more clearly if they listen to what I'm doing.
Do you mind holding this up? Thanks.
This one's marginal. This one, by the way, that one's more questionable because it didn't actually have the address, but I'm going to leave it because Bahama Bay Resorts, I think, will be sufficient, okay? So I'm allowing that one to slide a little bit, but I think that's the right way to do it. Try to give intent to what people are trying to do. All right. One has December 46th, today, signed by him to home. For purposes of quorum. Oh, time, place, date. For purposes of quorum only, just like the other ones. Time, place, date. This one is for purposes of quorum only. Time, place, date. Purposes of quorum only. Remind me to explain a general versus limited proxy, please, somebody, when I get ready to do my explanations so that people understand. December 30th. Purposes of quorum. Purposes of quorum. Neither. This is a November one. December AGM. This one's March. That's December. You guys allow facts, right?
Yeah.
We're going to be consistent. We're going to allow this. Okay. Okay. So. This is for purposes of quorum only. Okay. Well, they're tallying. I'll explain some things, and then if you board doesn't mind, I'll answer questions. Let me wait. No, sir. Let me explain things generally, then I'll answer questions. I'd rather get some stuff out globally so the majority of people here understand.
My question is, I just want to know who everyone is. Then you can speak.
That's actually not a bad idea. I apologize. Thank you. If I'm wrong, by the way, I'm the first one to admit it. You guys will find that out. It's actually a great idea. One of you, why don't you introduce who's up here? That's actually not a bad. That's a good idea. Thank you, sir.
Hi everybody, you got James Mornelli, he's the treasurer. Magdu Wagdy, he's the treasurer. Secretary, treasurer, president, Jacqueline Pollock. Attorney, Neil McCulloh. Manager, Neil Bailey. And manager in training, Neil Bailey.
Just one more overall question. I'm from New York, I'm new to this HOA thing. Well, how many do you need for a quorum? I'm not understanding that.
For this association, the quorum
How many
is
people in the
63.
How many people in the association? 200, 100? How many people?
210.
210 right now.
And you need how many?
63.
63, okay.
Okay, so if I can, let me get through this and then I'll answer questions, okay? It'd be a lot, I think it'll make a lot more sense if I do it in order. That's what I'm trying to do. All right, you've got an association, it's a corporation. It gets run like a corporation. That's run through the board of directors for almost everything. Your board makes most of the decisions for the association, almost all of them. The ones that are usually reserved to the membership are usually amending your documents and electing your directors. You're about done, okay? Everything else is done by the board of directors for the most part. And there's a few exceptions, but for the most part. This meeting is the annual meeting of the membership. That's the owners. At this meeting, this is your opportunity primarily to elect a board. That's what it's for. However, to be able to open members, if you don't have a quorum, there aren't enough people here to even open the meeting to even conduct the vote. So far, so good? Now, people can attend in person, like you all are sitting here today, or they can attend by proxy. Does that make sense? Now, there's two types of proxies. There's a limited proxy and a general proxy. And this gets messed up a lot of times, all right? A general proxy is one where you say, okay, I, Mr. Blank, give my proxy to Sam to vote as he sees fit. Does that make sense? A limited proxy is I give my proxy to Sam, but I want him to vote as set forth hereafter. And you literally delineate how that vote is to be done. So far, so good? So you specify the vote on the face of the document. So far, so good? Okay. Now, I'm sorry, did somebody say no?
So now I'm trying to find out who hasn't signed in.
Okay, if we can, keep it down, so I'm trying to make sure everybody understands. So, that's the two types of proxies. Now, under your documents, and the Florida statutes require that you follow your governing documents, your elections are by secret ballot vote, okay? They have to be secret ballot. Therefore, it has to be done by a ballot, not a proxy, not a limited proxy. Now, I don't have a problem if someone gets a general proxy, not a limited proxy, and that person can vote for themselves, whatever property they own, and any other property for which they get a general proxy. Why do I allow a general proxy, or why do I recommend the board, more specifically, or be more accurate, why do I recommend the association allow a general proxy, but not a limited proxy? It's because of the secret ballot requirement. If it's a limited proxy, you set forth how it's supposed to be voted. Well, the documents don't permit that. So on the limited proxy, you can use it for purposes of establishing a quorum, but you can't take how the votes indicated on the face of it to count towards the voting of the particular directors. I know I'm covering this very fast. Forgive me if someone doesn't understand, I'll repeat it. I do understand. I represent, I don't know, my firm represents, I don't know, 700 associations. I do this all the time. It's the reason I'm trying to explain it so everybody understands. So that's why in this, you can have a proxy. You can have different types of proxies that are good for different things. Also, a proxy may not be valid, right? It has to be for a particular meeting. It can be set forth for, if a proper meeting is called, for a proper adjournment thereof for up to 90 days. However, if the first meeting wasn't an association meeting, properly decided, noticed, done in accordance with the documents, then you can't use a proxy that was given for essentially an invalid meeting at a subsequent meeting. Everybody follow that? That's a little complicated. So that's why, I'm gonna finish this before we move on from anybody, because I want that, it's your association. I want you to understand what's going on. So for purposes of this, that's why this proxy may be valid, this one may not be valid, this one is valid for this purpose, but not for this purpose. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes. And that's all I'm doing. I'm literally just looking through, are they done right? And if so, if not, don't count them. If they are, then what can they be used for? And that's all I'm done. Does that make sense to everybody?
No, just wait.
Wait. Let me finish, and if I can, I'm going to go later on. I'm going to this gentleman first. He tried to speak. I'm trying to honor what I said. I'm not trying to cut people off.
We have a procedure.
I'm sorry?
Can you give us the signer?
Sure. Okay. We haven't, technically, you're still, that's what we're doing. We're dealing with the signing. Absolutely. And by the way, we're not trying to cut anybody out. I'm definitely not trying to cut anybody out. So, with that as a backdrop, if everybody understands that, if it's okay with everybody, I'll take some questions. Sir, you're first.
Thank you. My name is Fritz Clem. I'm at 1633 Pine The main issue I have when you start talking about this, because every homeowner have the right to vote, even if they are here or not. If there is an issue regarding this, we cannot eliminate any of them. If we're gonna eliminate any of them, that means we're gonna have to reschedule this, because we don't have any right to cancel anybody's votes.
Okay.
You understand what I mean?
I kind
So
of,
if
but
I'm
it doesn't
not
work
here-
that way, and I'll explain it. That's the point.
Okay, if the person sent the proxy, there was a mistake between the board, miscommunication, posted something on for whatever reason, and they schedule another one. Now, don't tell me if the person send his proxy and look, guys gonna eliminate that. That's what I mean, because that person have the right for their vote to count.
Okay, so let me answer some things. There's a common misconception that the association has to mail out proxies to everybody. The answer is no, they don't. Your board, and as I understand it, I didn't do it, so I haven't overseen any of this, so everybody understands. Okay, I don't participate in the mail out and all that stuff. But I understand the board mailed out a proxy. That's for purposes of trying to make sure that you can hold an annual meeting and do your elections, all right? That is an accommodation. So understand, you as an owner, any owner here can create their own proxy, all right? And if it's valid, I will literally count it. You can have it on a napkin. I'm good with it. Literally, I have counted proxies on a napkin, handwritten, but they have to be valid. And the problem that I'm hearing is, well, wait a minute, the board needed to do X. No, the board isn't even required to mail out the proxies. Not even required to. It does this as an accommodation, all right? Now, if people didn't return those proxies or used a different proxy or somebody else formulated a proxy that's not valid or done incorrectly, that's not the association's fault. These proxies, I don't think, were created by the association. I think these were created by somebody else and distributed, all right? It's unfortunate that they're done wrong for what the purpose is, but the board can't change what somebody individually is doing. If they're gonna not follow the statutes, not follow the law, and not follow the documents, I don't have a choice. I've got to recommend they not be counted. It's too bad. It would have been nice if whoever did this did it right, okay? But if you're not gonna do it right, the association can't count it. I hope everybody understands that.
I have a question.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna go in order, okay? You next, sir.
Thank you.
I'll come here
I'm
and then
Andy
here.
Pollock. I've turned some proxies in, so how do I find out if they can accept it or reject it?
They're gonna let you know in a minute, because basically, they're going through them right now. Anyone they have questions on, they're handing to me. That's the
Okay.
process we're doing.
And my second question is, I've got one ballot form, so do I write down how many?
No, you will use, let me give you an example. If someone has 10 proper general proxies and they're an owner, they will get 11 ballots. One for themselves and one for the other 10. Okay? And then the ballots will be secret. In other words, fold them over, turn them in. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
But they have to be done separately. I can't have you, if somebody out there has 20 proxies and they write, I have 20 proxies, my name is blank, I vote all 20 proxies for X, I'm telling the board to not allow it. Has everybody got that? Why? It's not secret anymore. Does that make sense? What's good for the goose is good for the gander. We're gonna do it above board and try to do it all correctly. That's what we're trying to do. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does, thank you very much.
You're next. And then I'll come to you, ma'am.
Which rule of law are you using for general and limited proxy?
Well, part of it's a rule of law. Under the Florida statutes, the proxies has to set forth the time, place, and date of the meeting, from whom to whom they're given, must be signed and dated. Okay, I just went through all the elements of that. Wait, let me, you asked a question, let me answer it. I don't want to mislead people. Okay, now, in addition to that, you follow the Florida statutes. 720 mandates that you follow your governing documents. Your documents have a secret ballot election procedure, all right? So I'm just following. If this didn't require a secret ballot election procedure and it allowed limited proxies to be used for electing directors, I'd be fine with that. It's just, I can't endorse something that's contrary to both your documents and the Florida statutes.
Right. So
Wait, no, I'm gonna go in order. If I can't, I'll come back. I wanna go in order, let everybody ask one question, then I'll come back. Ma'am, no, wait, I'm gonna go in order. As long as everyone's good and quiet while they're counting, we can spend some time. Go
You
ahead.
can actually answer
There a
this
standard
question
form?
because
Okay, you're up.
this question was my question.
Okay.
but I've got a
Go ahead.
follow-up to that because we didn't quite answer what my question was.
All right.
The actual statute that you're following that allows for homeowners associations to have general and limited proxies.
No, it's the statute basically sets forth the requirements for its
Right.
proxy, and then it says for election of directors, you follow your documents.
Okay, do you have a copy of our documents?
Yes,
Do you have a copy of the bylaws?
yes.
May I see it?
Actually, you can. You can use mine.
Still have to be checked.
Oh, I didn't know that. I have more to check.
Yeah.
Can I take a hiatus for a minute and okay? Please, can you look at them right here? I can't
Oh,
let those
yeah,
out
yeah.
of my sight. Okay, sorry. I don't mind people using them, but I need to preserve. Okay, these have to be checked. All right.
How can I get a copy of that bylaw?
Oh, just call management. They'll give you copies. Right? You guys are just.
I can give you one tonight.
No problem.
When you close on
But yeah, you should, but that doesn't mean they do. You should automatically get them when you're closing, okay? So that's the problem,
I don't know
okay?
about
But it's okay. You can get them from management.
I closed 13 years ago.
I got it, but that's your closing agent, Paul, it's not the management, but you can get them from management. Can I make a suggestion though? Can we have one person talking only, please? Sorry. Okay. I'm concerned you're gonna be misled, okay? When you ask for the bylaws, ask for a copy of the governing documents. Because it's not just the bylaws. You have a declaration, articles of incorporation, bylaws, and you probably have rules and regulations, okay? You want all of them, all right? In fact, the bylaw is the third inferior document. Your declaration controls over everything, then your articles of incorporation, then your bylaws. So just ask for a copy of the governing documents, not just the bylaws. I don't want you to be misled. You're gonna sit there and think this is everything. No, it's not, okay? And I don't want you misled,
A lot
okay?
of those are online.
And are they online?
Yeah.
Can you tell everybody while I'm starting to look at these, what the online thing is, while I'm looking at these?
Jacqueline, how do they get online to get documents? What's the website address?
Do you mind if I read a section out of this?
No, show it to me before you read it, so I know what we're talking about. But give me one
Actually,
second. Wait. Let me do one thing at a time. I'm following.
I'm just setting the book.
Has the authority to vote and act in the same time as the president, as long as that's the people, it's time, place, and date. I think that person would get an extra ballot. I'm sorry, what do you?
Number 5, if you would read this entire section.
I'm not gonna read the entire
Oh,
section.
well-
Are you asking section 5?
No, this right here. Just
Oh,
this,
section
this
5,
paragraph.
okay.
Yeah.
At all meetings of members, each member may vote in person or by proxy. All proxies shall be in writing, filed with secretary. Every proxy shall be revocable and shall be automatically ceased upon conveyance. Yes?
So if you can only vote by secret ballot, why does our bylaws allow us to vote by
No.
proxy?
Okay, the reason is because in the election of directors, all right, you gotta flip to the next section. Election to the board of directors shall be by secret written ballot. At such election, of the members or their proxies may cast.
Or
So-
their proxies.
Right, their proxies.
Proxies.
Right, and I will allow, I just already said, if you have a general proxy, and I just gave them one, that person's gonna get a ballot.
So where does it say general or limited?
Right.
It says right here, secret written. If it's a limited proxy, it can't be, give me a second, I'll explain. You need to understand this. If it's a limited proxy, it designates who you are voting for, who the owner is voting for. Therefore, by virtue of using a limited proxy, it is not a secret ballot. By having a proxy, if you have a general proxy, you turn in the general proxy, you get a ballot. You then fill out the ballot and turn it in. That's the secrecy. It's the procedure and the requirements of the documents. That's all I'm following.
That's why I was trying to figure out what statute are you going off of for general and limited? Because some of them only apply to condominium associations.
No, this isn't a condo.
And
This
the
is
law
a,
is specific. If it doesn't specifically say general and limited, then we're not bound by it.
No.
You're throwing the word general and limited.
okay, I'll explain it one last time, then I need to move on, okay? Here's the way this works. You've got to follow the documents on election of directors. Your documents, I just read it, requires a secret ballot. It allows for a proxy. So you have to try to conform with every requirement in the document. The document allows you to vote by proxy. I'm gonna allow people to basically vote by proxy. They turn in the proxy, they get a ballot, okay? But if it's a limited proxy, the secrecy is destroyed. Therefore, the limited proxy is valid for purposes of establishing a quorum, but not electing directors. If you don't like what I'm saying, please go see your own attorney, okay? That's all I can tell you.
I'm just trying to find.
No,
the statute
individual,
you're
his
quoting.
individual attorney. I'm saying, as the corporation's attorney, I'm telling you, here's how it should work. That's all I can do. The point being, what I'm saying, by the way, is pretty much black and white. It's
I'm
not,
just
it's not
trying to
gray.
figure out what rule of law that you're following by saying
I'm
limited. and
following the
general.
rule of law that says you will follow your governing
So you
documents.
don't know what it is.
No, it's in 720. If you want me to pull out the different section, I would have to pull it out. I don't remember exactly. It's probably maybe 723 or 3. I'll have to pull it out in a minute.
I mean, I could read it to you because I have what it is right here. It says nothing about general and limited proxies.
You're right.
In
It
the
said, did you hear what I said?
Association.
Okay, I'm not gonna argue anymore. Listen to what I said. The law requires that you follow for your election of directors what your documents require. Your documents require a secret ballot election. You're basically saying you want to destroy the secret ballot requirement. I can't do that because both your documents, your bylaws, and Florida Statute 720-305, if you want to go look it up, requires that you, as a matter of law, you must follow your governing documents. Okay? Look that one up while I'm doing this.
No, I already know that.
Okay, well then you know what I'm saying is
That
true.
they supersede.
Okay. All right. let me do this, and then I'll answer whoever's next. Annual meeting, September 30th, 6:45 Thomas Day, fine. Ownership blank, fine. President, fine. I wish it was legible, but it's fine. Dated, signed. Okay, that person can get a ballot. Proxy blank, Thomas Day, President, Jacqueline. That is. They just did it in both places. Okay, I would allow it. Okay, December 30th, okay, date, sign,
My hand's
dated.
gonna die. George.
They can get a ballot. Pine Ridge Drive. The only thing about this was Pine Ridge Drive. What I don't know is, was that written in after the fact? That's my concern. I got it, but my point is, it looks like different handwriting. If this was filled in by the person to whom the proxy was given, it wouldn't be valid. So that's a judgment call. Give me a second. 12:24 time, place, and date. 12:20. Is there more than one 12:25 in Windwood Bay?
No.
I don't believe so.
If there's only one, I would probably accept it.
There is only
If there's
one
two, and that was written in after the fact, I'm
There's
probably
only one.
Okay, so if not, I would probably recommend you disallow it. All right, on this one, dated, yes. Okay. And I give this person a ballot. Okay, I'm sorry. Gentleman in the back, did you have another question?
No, I mean, I just wanted to find out, he pretty much answered, there's a standard form. for
Okay.
the Actual.
The point, well, standard form.
For the
Yeah,
proxy.
the state kind of has a form, but it doesn't have to be on the form, as I said, it can be on the napkin, it just has to have certain
Yeah, the
information.
standard form, I mean, wouldn't it be easier for a standard form just to be notarized, if you know the person signing the form?
The statute doesn't require it, neither do your documents.
Because you're going to them like, well, I'm gonna take this, I don't know if it's a signature,
No. All I'm looking for is the elements of a proxy, that's all I'm looking for. I'm just trying to make sure that it has the elements of a proxy, and if so, I'm good. Okay, I'm trying to allow as many as I can. Here's the funny thing, I'm actually trying to allow them. Okay, I'm not even trying to disregard them, I'm trying to allow them.
Here's that
I'm sorry.
plaintiff.
Let me go here next and then I'll come back. Yes.
I'm just curious, the difference between the limited and the general. So you say secret ballot, so that means that the general one doesn't give any information on it about who the
Just-
vote is for.
Exactly. General proxy just says,
It's like
I, Mr. Smith, give my, essentially my right to vote, however the person I'm giving it to sees fit. So you're giving away your entire right to the person to make his own mind up. Does that make sense? That's the general aspect. A limited says, all right, I, Mr. Smith, am instructing the person I'm giving this proxy to vote as follows. You follow me? So it's specific. Difference in general and limited is the limited proxy is specific and dictates how you must vote. And generally, a limited proxy acts essentially as a ballot itself. Does that make sense? There's the difference.
And
Yes, sir.
I think to clear this up, if we didn't have the rule about the secret ballot, a limited proxy would be completely fine. Because it's not secret, and we have a rule that says it has to be secret, limited proxies cannot be used to vote in boards of directors.
To cast votes for the directors.
Yes.
They can be used to establish a quorum.
Yeah.
Okay? So it has a limited validity. Does
Right.
that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Next question.
Do we have a
I'm-
quorum?
I don't know, they're counting right now. That's why I'm trying not to waste your time.
Because if we don't have a quorum, then we're all
By the way, if
here.
there's no quorum, there's no election. Just to let you know. Okay. All right, I'm not trying to cut people off. Yes, sir.
we're losing. So we might not.
Guys, can we have one person talking? Let's be courteous to everybody.
At the beginning of your meeting, you had said that, apparently the board said there was no meeting on the 6th. George over there said there was a sign up that said there was a meeting. You said you don't care because you thought it was ours. Are they allowed to just place a board and then cancel the meeting and say there's no meeting? Or is it, I just want to know why.
No, I didn't understand your question. Can you restate it? People were talking. I couldn't hear it.
Can you just speak up a bit? We can't hear you.
There's a board that someone puts out that says when meetings are, either board of directors meeting, our meeting, whatever. If that board is up, is that not a legal notification from the board to state that there is a general meeting?
No, it has to do with it has to do with who's putting up the board. Was the meeting, let me finish. Was the meeting properly called? Okay? There are requirements. They were either met or not met. I'm being told they weren't met. I wasn't there.
Okay, no, that's my question.
What is properly called?
How is the general meeting supposed to be properly if someone puts up a board that's from our meeting, that's the same board that tells us when we have a meeting, board of directors meeting, an annual meeting. If that board is up in our location, how do we know if it's actual legitimate if you say that anyone can put one up?
Well,
because that's the board that they use to tell us.
You're talking the physical board. You're not talking the board of directors.
Yes, that's physical.
The sign.
The sign.
Could you please hand me back my
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
I just want to show something to finish this.
That's okay. Let's answer any questions from other council. Okay.
They need to talk themselves.
We reserved the room here on November 12th, and the hotel said no. We weren't the one who
Okay,
reserved it.
I got it. See, I got it.
It needs to be.
But
This is from the hotel.
I got it. So the hotel said no to the meeting. I got it. But that's only part of the
But
answer.
can they explain
What-
why
what-
they're talking to you, they cannot talking to us?
I am. I'm getting
Because you don't
myself.
listen to us.
Wait, hold it, guys. I'm only gonna do this. Guys, if people start talking, wait. Please don't do that. If I hear any more of this, I'm not gonna continue answering. I'm trying to answer the questions.
You need to listen to some damn
Okay.
We're paying
fine.
We want them to talk to us while we're here.
Okay.
Okay.
Guys, this isn't gonna get anything done. Let's see if we have a quorum. If we have a quorum, then we can move forward. If we don't, then it's done anyway.
We don't have a quorum, this meeting doesn't count, so let's just find out we have a quorum.
No, if there's no quorum, there is no meeting.
Right.
It doesn't count. There is no meeting.
Yeah, but if there is a quorum, there's not enough of the votes that are going to get counted.
I will answer if everybody, guys, I really wish everybody would just speak in front of me, courteous to everybody else. I am not trying to duck any question, but let me try to answer it. Here's what, and I haven't checked all the documents, so right now I'm in, I'm sorry? Potential. Okay, let me still answer the question while I have. No, wait. No, we're not gonna do that, because if you do that, it's all gonna be shut down. Hey, don't do that anymore. Please, don't.
Adjourn the meeting.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to finish with this person, and then they can announce this. I'm trying to be, oh my gosh.
If we don't have a
If you
quorum,
guys want to know the answer, I will
adjourn
just
the
say it.
meeting.
The association shall hold an annual meeting of the membership in each year on a date and at an hour to be set by the board of directors. It's not, wait a minute. If it is, the fact that it's on a pre-printed board posted somewhere does not dictate whether it's valid or not. That requirement dictates it. Now, management, have you reached the quorum?
No one
Have
else
you
has
counted?
access to that sign.
Wait.
Who else has access to that sign? Does anybody?
Wait, we're gonna
Does
do this
anybody else have
no.
access to that sign?
Announce
other than the
it,
board?
announce, go ahead and announce.
There's 53 people by person or by proxy. You needed 63, so you're 10 short on having a proxy, so there's no quorum.
there's no
So
meeting
no quorum,
either.
there's no meeting.
And what's happening next now?
So when do we get to vote on our board of directors?
Okay,
What's next?
guys,
They'll reschedule it.
wait. You guys want an answer, or do you all want to talk about over each other? If you want to do it in order and be courteous, I will try to respond. Technically, there's no meeting, so anybody can leave whenever they want, just to let you know. There is no meeting, there can be no vote, okay? There isn't a quorum of the vote. What happens is the board stays in power, okay? Because they stay in power until the new board is elected. Does that answer? So they're basically, the board stays in power. There's no
Until
election.
I'm sorry.
But no, we're not gonna do that. I'm gonna go in order. Does anybody, because quite frankly, I'm gonna start penalizing people that speak out of turn because it's ridiculous. Do it right, yes.
What do we need to do to have the board call another meeting for elections? And then we need to get the general proxies for everybody so that we can have a quorum next time. But what do we need to do procedurally to get another meeting of the board of directors so that we can vote?
Technically,
Oh, wait.
okay? I'd have to look through documents and see if they have a procedural issue. I don't know off the top of my head. I represent like 700. I don't have
Right.
everybody's memorized,
How
okay?
are you?
But, oh my
come
gosh,
on.
really? Really? This is,
I'm
you
just
want
trying
to
to-
not get people, you don't want to let people get their questions answered.
You don't wanna let
You
people
wanna-
vote.
All right.
And you like, you
All
say
right.
they can leave, so I'm
Sorry,
obviously not
okay,
objective, but.
guys, I apologize that there is no meeting.
Hang on.
I'm not gonna keep doing this. You all have, it's too bad that you did this. Next year, I hope you do it
So
right
when we can
and do it
vote?
correctly.
Hang on. I got one more thing to say.
I can call a general
no
meeting.
meeting.
The meeting's being adjourned by the members.
No, it's
and
not
they're-
adjourned.
It is being
Okay,
adjourned
that's good.
according to 720,
Okay.
306.
Right.
The meeting is being adjourned by the members, and the board must notify us of a new meeting to take its place.
There is no meeting.
We're adjourning. The members are adjourning.
Somebody do a motion to adjourn.
No, I've already spoken on film that we are adjourning the meeting.
Wait a minute.
The members are
Listen for a second. A motion to adjourn takes precedence over anything. You motion to
I'll make a
adjourn?
motion.
I did it first.
So, second motion to adjourn. All in favor of adjourning, say aye, although there is no meeting, so I don't know why we're doing this, but just double say. All in favor, aye. Oh, God. Any opposed?
Here, do you want to hold this for a second?
Is open? She's with them too.
No one put up
Not to say anything at the meeting, because it was out of order. Now I can say what I need to say. Does that answer your question?
All right.
All this rigmarole for a sign. You want of them what members do? Those signs are identical. They have one of them what members do? You one of the board members? I'm sorry, I stated what I think is a whole thing.
It's still going. I answered a couple questions, so I'm fine.
You don't even know.
No, I don't.
You just fly in, no?
What?
You just fly in, right?
I got to fly back tomorrow morning.
I don't know, man.
Don't interrupt someone who's speaking.